Montclair, what is up? You're normally I'd be saying you're listening to a blast from the past, but given that show is done, I decided to go with this one. So I'm Brian Crespo, and with me I have Elijah Witt from the Cane Hill, man. It's so good to have you, man. How have you been?
It is a pleasure to be here. I have been, as I've mentioned, mentally void of cognitive thought. What up?
I think we've all have. This whole year has literally, yeah, it's taking a toll on us. I really at this point, like I feel like I'm here, but mentally I'm somewhere else.
As far as I'm concerned, this year didn't exist. I didn't exist. It never happened. I've washed my hands of it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Anyway, Elijah. So Cane Hill, what's going on with that? For those who don't know, Cane Hill are I guess I can call you guys a metalcore band if you want to say that.
Whatever you want to call us.
Or that I pretty because I know people like in within the community they get very very upset if you mislabel their genre. I'm just like, dude, it's for me it's like it's music. If it's good music, it's good music. Right.
Yeah, the way I see genres is just a way for like people to associate something with what they like. So whatever makes you happy, whatever helps people attach their brains to the idea of this, I'm not gonna care anymore.
Exactly. I think that's the way it should be. But it's cool about it. So anyway, dude, how have you been? With Cane Hill and all that. You just released the EP. Crew. Why is it always slips my head?
That French, bro.
The French. And I'm not. Are you fluent in French?
No.
So anyway, okay. So we can get into that. But the new EP, you just released Blood and Honey, Crew de l'Amour Volume 1. There you go. There it is.
You figured it out. Proud of you.
See, putting that good mind to use. Crew de l'Amour Volume 1. So talk to me about those concepts because I know Volume 2 is about to be on the way because correct me if I'm wrong, what you guys plan on doing is 3 singles EP, Volume 1.
Mm-hmm.
So now we got Blood and Honey. So talk a bit about Blood and Honey, the concept for that.
Okay, well, Blood and Honey is song 1 of Volume 2 of an unspecified number of volumes. That way I don't build anyone's hopes up and then crush them when I decide I don't want to do it anymore. And I don't know, we are no longer on a label. We don't have that ball and chain that a lot of bands have where they force you to kind of do things to the old standard.
Yeah.
So we just decided to kind of branch out and do what we've seen like work for other music scenes that metal just hasn't like gotten hip to, I guess, to use a phrase that the old heads would probably use. No, they're not hip to it. What's all this hullabaloo about singles? I mean, like, okay, so you watch like rappers and you watch EDM artists and pop artists, and they'll eventually put out like some super long album that no one's gonna listen to every song on, but they don't care because it's like 22 songs. Who cares? They had like 10 singles from it, and what they do is they watch their Spotify numbers, and when there starts to be a drop, they decide I'll release another song to keep my Spotify numbers up. Since the vague concept of monthly listeners is what your like band size is based off of nowadays, and your relevance, I guess. I mean, because you can have like 100,000 bot followers, but what you got 50,000 listeners, nobody's going to take you on tour. But coincidentally, you have 20,000 followers and then like 200,000 listeners, and then people are like, well, there's social media. So I don't know. We're living in this weird world where numbers don't matter. What's that show where the numbers don't matter, the points don't matter? Whose line is it anyway? That's showing my age. I'm old. So anyway, we're following that path, the path of the other genres that have seen so much more success than metal in the recent years. And we decided to make it a lot more personal. I mean, that's why it's in French, because New Orleans is very classically French.
Yeah.
And the spelling of crew is the same spelling that like Mardi Gras parades use for like their crews. So that's not necessarily French. That's more just like a New Orleans thing. And giving it that personal touch and giving people like consistent content to interact with and enjoy and form emotional attachments to, like we did writing them, has been really great. And we've seen like the real reward of it. I mean, just statistically, to throw out some numbers for you, some beautiful numbers. I mean, doing it our way, our Spotify listeners have increased by 120,000 in the past 6 months. And comparatively, when we would release a full album at a time, we'd probably see like 40 or 50,000 plus. So in the release of a full album, we were seeing 45% the increase that we're seeing now, releasing everything kind of in blocks and bits, building up to bigger releases. And then like merch numbers have gone up drastically because you're able to push like new artistic concepts for every song, and everything is related to this different idea with like a cohesive umbrella of an idea over it. So you have big idea, little idea, little idea, little idea, and they're all coming together. And I have rambled for about 5 minutes about this.
Oh man, hey, this is your time to shine, my guy.
Yeah, but who cares about numbers other than everyone in the music industry? It is the most important thing is it's been fun. We've done things our way. We get to kind of be the band that we always wanted to be. And I really think that resonates with fan bases as well. So
That's no man. Hey, listen, you got your have your say. Listen, this is your time to like speak everything you want to say. Like that's the point of this, like
you
express.
don't want that. You
Okay.
don't want
Cleanly, of course. But okay, speaking of with labels in the music industry, because we all know how beautiful the music industry is.
Mm.
So you guys sending a lot of, again, like you said, a lot of bands have been going independent, and certain bands have that doubt of going independent because they don't know how it's going to take it to them, not having the label and all. But for you guys, it's been going well. A lot of positive reception from the fans. Again, with Blood and Honey, it was a good song, but there was that backlash because it did take you guys a while to put on streaming services. Trying to work out to that song.
I mean, that's one of the downsides of not having a label, is that we are wildly disorganized. I mean, it's basically it's us, which is a lot of me. I'm going to take that credit because I've earned it. And the one guy who manages us. He doesn't have like a team or anything. It's just this guy who manages bands and has seen really good success in the past. But he's a little bit older. He's a little bit more tired. So it's mostly us handling, and then he handles like the very nitty gritty stuff that we don't know how to do, or uses his connections when we don't have them. But I mean, so speaking of the Spotify thing, I mean that was never supposed to happen. It was supposed to all go at the same time, but we were thrown a curveball. Our producer wasn't able to get us our mix in time to push it to Spotify, because you need like 2 weeks to get like an appropriate amount of playlisting and pitch your offer. And he had a family death, one of his pets died, and he developed like stomach ulcers all in the same like week span.
Oh my God.
So that poor boy had to take some time off, even though we kept like being like, hey, like, I'm so sorry you're sick. Like, where's my mix? I have to ask you where my mix is. And he did get it to us. It was fine. And what we did is we ran with it, and we ended up pushing our YouTube, which had never had a push, because we, on a record label, typically they will host your music videos, because the way they see it is they have a wider
Believe me, this record label is I would say names. I don't care personally, because I'm like that. I think this record label is notorious, to be honest, but that's a different story.
I have stories about almost every single one of them. So it's not an isolated incident with the record label we were on. And mind you, I have no bad blood towards them as a record label. I mean, if the way you can't, or I can't, I refuse to like let my emotions get in the way of it. Like, oh, I wish they would have done more for us. They're a business model. They have to make money. They make decisions based off of the money they spend, the money they return. To hold it against them is just silly, thinking that they would care about us as people more than they care about their label as a business. Like, I care more about my band as a business than I care about us as people. It's just, it's the way it works. And if I don't think that way, then that's when we start seeing like a downtick in everything that we're doing. But being independent has let us build ourselves, which is great. So everything that we get comes back to us. we don't have a label advance, so our wallet's not massive, but every release that we make, we get 100% of the return. We're no longer splitting our 100% 50 different ways until we only get a 10% return,
Yeah.
or until we get a 0% return because we haven't recouped what's already been given to us. Because that's the way it works. They give you money, you owe it back. A label's a bank. There's not interest. But you don't make any of your money until your money pays them back for what they've given you.
Basically, yeah. What's it called? There was this documentary I saw. It's the 30 Seconds to Mars documentary. That basically explains it all, and you know the truth about the music industry and the business, how it works.
I mean, and that's a major label. So I mean, there's 5,000 more reasons not to be with a major label than not to be with an indie label. But in fairness, all of these indie labels are being bought by major labels, so they become major label mentality.
It's sort of like a monopolization in a way. So
yeah, I mean, we're in a giant pyramid scheme where without the artist, none of these other things would exist, but the artist is the last one to get any kind of reward for the art that they have painstakingly created. Like, I can't tell you how many nights and days we spent without sleeping in like a real environment, or existing in like some sort of hospitable atmosphere where it's healthy mentally, physically, or like emotionally. And there's nothing that we get from it other than playing music for our fans, getting to do what we love without being in like a significant amount of debt. Like, we made enough to live. We didn't make enough to okay, let me rephrase it. We made enough to survive. We didn't make enough to live. But we made enough to keep doing it, and we loved it. You know,
I think fans can know, like, we didn't enough to look at. As long as you're living, having the healthy life, at the end of the day, as long as you can pay the bills, I mean, that's I think that's what it's come to.
That sounds nice. Being able to pay the bills. That doesn't happen. I mean, I have friends in bands that are significantly bigger than mine. Like we play like 500 cap rooms, they play like 3,000 cap rooms, and they're telling me that they've just started making enough money to live comfortably and pay their bills. And that's the metalcore scene. And I feel like a lot of people don't really consider that when they're listening to the music, is that the metalcore scene is absolutely plagued with financial insecurity, financial inequity, and it kind of all boils down to like what you're willing to give away to tour, to live your dream as a musician. And these people who run labels and people who run management companies and people who put on shows, they know what a young person is willing to give up to be able to do this. Yeah. They know that when you're a young band with good talent, you will put yourself in a position that isn't beneficial to yourself or your business in order to like live that rock star dream. And I say that as someone who did it, who gave up all of the rights to his own music, does not own a single bit of music that he's written since until this new stuff we put out. Like I've gotten DMCA'd for my own music. I can't post my own music. I don't make money off of it. Our number one song that streams higher than any other song that we put out gives me nothing. And I get to live with that because I signed a contract, and I got really good experiences out of it. I've traveled the world. I've seen more countries than most people even know exist. And it's been an absolute blessing, but it has its fallbacks. So that's what being independent is to me, is I get to do all the things I love while seeing some sort of reward, but I don't want to blow people's heads up and be like, you should just stay independent your whole life. There's pros and cons to both sides. We wouldn't be this successful had we not done that, had we not gone that route of not making money, being in the position that we are, to have a fan base that loves that we've gone independent and supports us through it and helps us grow through that, So there was definitely like times where it was like, we should have just never signed this. Sorry. There were times when we were like, maybe we shouldn't have signed this contract. Have I cursed more than that? Is that my first time?
It's just those two words. So.
Okay, that's really good. That's a success story so far. But like as I was saying, there were times where I was like, yeah, I wish we never signed this contract. But there was a lot of truth to the concept that without them posting the music on their YouTube, or without them posting the music to wherever they saw fit and had the rights to do so, we probably wouldn't have grown to whatever size we were beforehand. Um, like, it's really in all how you play the game. I mean, Spirit Box was independent until they were massive. You know what I mean? Like, they
Yeah.
decided to sign once they got big. They got big on their own. They just had a manager. And that is sometimes all it takes, is like somebody with a really good brain for how to get people interested in you. And then you tell the label what you want, and they have to bend to your will because they want the money that you're seeing. You know?
Exactly. Yeah, and Spirit Box, I just find it funny that Spirit Box signs with with the label that's notorious, but but like you said,
They have power, and they
power
have
because
the networking, and with the success that Spirit Box has, there's no way that they would sign a contract that was not at least as in the artist's favor as possible.
exactly.
So Rise one of them, and I'm sure they did a lot of bending to get what they wanted. So that's why I said, once you have the power, signing to a label is not a bad thing. It becomes a bank, it becomes a networking opportunity, and you're in control, because without you, they know that they aren't going to make money, instead of the idea that they want you to try and make themselves money, and if it doesn't work, you're nothing to them, you know.
And there's a lot of I mean, we're name drops at this point. I don't care anymore. Rise and all that stuff. So, but like you say, there's also like benefits. So there's also like labels that do care about the artist. They care about the band because they want them to succeed. They give that creativity. Like Sharp Tone, UNFD. What's the other? I think those are the top two right now that can come
So
up.
I think it's funny that those are the labels that are mentioned, because I feel like there's been this shift in the past 5 years where it was once Fearless and Rise. It has
And
become
to at the
Unified
time.
and Sharp Tone. But I mean, both of those labels, as far as I know, everyone at those labels comes from being in a band, or like being in the world of bands, instead of necessarily like the business side of it. So I
Yeah.
think we have more of a concept of what it's like to be the artist and care a lot about the artist
So,
as a human, and not so much as like a means of income.
so I guess maybe it's what you. So I guess for Kane Hill and you guys is in a future reference, if given an opportunity with any of those labels, do you guys see yourselves with any of those labels?
It depends. I mean, those labels could come to us and give us a deal that we can't turn away, and I would say yes. I mean, we're not independent forever because of like some sort of personal stance we're taking.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we're independent because right now it's the right thing for us, and we haven't been given an offer that we're like, yes, this will work for us. You know, we've had people reach out. We've had we've had more label interest recently than we've ever had in our lives. So it's not beyond the realm of possibility that we sign again. It's just we're making sure that we do it for the right reasons, with the right people who care about us and actually want to see us succeed as well as they succeed.
Yeah, I think it should be a 50-50, not.
Partnership, if you will,
Yeah, there you go.
instead of like a daddy son thing. Like, can I please have some money? Not until you get good grades.
And if you get good grades, man, you just get a good pat on the back, and then like
We'll get better grades, and then we'll give you
better
money.
grades. Is that an A? That's not an A. I'm like, all right.
That's the A minus. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's like you get it. But yeah, this has been great. But I guess all right. So my next question is: you guys making your income, and also like, have you been though for like the pandemic? You've been doing Twitch a lot, so
Funny story. I've made more money off Twitch than I ever made off this band.
yeah, that's my question actually. Like, do you feel like not? Do you feel like the fact that other artists are using streaming services such as Twitch to make income? Does that like show that the music business is not as easy as it seems?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not a lucrative business to be an artist in. I don't know a single place where being an artist is lucrative.
Unless you're like, a rap artist or something, like you see all those stacks right there.
Even then, how much of that is real and how much of that isn't? I mean, I could go pick up a bunch of $100 bills and throw them in a music video and people would think I'm wealthy. I could lease a Mercedes SUV and people would think that I'm wealthy. And I think that's one of the problems with social media is that it lets you kind of fake whatever world you want to be in, and people will believe you because there's nothing saying otherwise. But the gaming community is 100% legit, 100% real, 100% hospitable. We have never been treated better than when we played the DreamHack Gaming Convention in Texas.
Yeah.
They like go out of their way, no matter what size band you are or who you are or what you do. They pay you handsomely. They treat you well. There's amenities. You're treated like someone like what you imagine an artist would be treated as. That's how the gaming community treats music, which is so weird that it's the gaming community and not the music industry itself. But I think that's also a reason why so many musicians have shifted into the gaming world, because it's very obvious that that's community driven. The companies that run those businesses know it's community driven and like to keep it community driven, instead of turning it into like a corporate structure. It's more like it is much more like a partnership. Like, you do this for us and we'll do this for you, instead of you do this for us and if it's successful we'll think about doing this for you next time, you know.
Yeah, I agree, because like what we've seen lately is, the whole metalcore scene teaming up with like gaming companies. Like Starset put out something specifically for a game. I forgot what's it called. You guys performed at the festival, and I think that's where you guys premiered Blood and Honey, right?
Yeah, we premiered it on their award show.
Yeah. And that's where it blew up. And now, Sam Carter from Architects is on, I think it's on Final Fantasy. I'm not sure.
Yeah, which is tight. And that's sick. I mean, if you look back at like video games in the 90s, like I got into rock and metal because Madden used to have like Chevelle and Rage Against the Machine and stuff. And now it's like, understandably, it's gone very like rap centric and EDM centric because the markets are larger. But one of those
more mainstream. Let's go with that.
Yeah, we'll call it mainstream. Mainstream's always been more mainstream, but metal used to be mainstream. And then Durst had to destroy what's it called? That huge festival, the one. Woodstock.
Woodstock, there you go.
Thank God. Yeah, I mean, it was mainstream, and a lot of that was because industries like the gaming industry pushed it. And I think the more people realize that it is easy to convince an audience that something is good if they hear it over and over again. You can make whatever you want to make mainstream. It's not like you have limitations. I didn't like Justin Bieber's song about peaches, and then I heard it 40 times, and now I love it. The human brain is not hard to convince of something, It's a manipulatable organ. It's stupid. Gaming communities are fraught with metalheads. Metalheads love games. Gamers love metalheads. And I think that's coming back into the reality of what we're seeing, is that they're like, I don't want to listen to this easy core EDM while I play these intense games. I want to listen to someone screaming, yelling, hard riffs, fast, punchy tunes. I mean, Mick Gordon, the dude that does the Doom soundtrack and the Wolfenstein soundtracks.
That's metal.
Yeah, he's a new metal guy. Dude writes the most new metal stuff on earth.
Yeah.
And that's what people love, those soundtracks. Those are the best soundtracks for games there are.
Even when you go back, like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, that was all hardcore punk.
That's how I learned about Flogging Molly and AC/DC when I was like 4.
Yeah, that's how I learned about Thrice and like all those bands, because Tony Hawk.
Dude, Tony Hawk is an impactful soundtrack. Video games have impactful soundtracks. The songs that I learned from video games are the songs that to this day I still love.
Even movies back in the 90s, it was all metal. So
horror movies loved metal. Now they love silence. I'm looking at what's that movie? A Quiet Place, you son of a.
Yeah, Quiet Place. Yeah, it was a lot of horror. What else? What was that one soundtrack? The Crow. The Crow. I love that movie. It had one of the best soundtracks. You invoke industrial.
Counterculture was huge then.
Yeah.
But the new counterculture is hip hop. I mean, if you look at the way hip hop artists promote themselves on the internet, they have the rock star attitude that kids lean to. They have the I don't give a heck about crud kind of attitude as I sit here and censor myself. Uh, it's for a good cause.
For a good cause, guys.
But so I think that
we ain't paying no fines up in here, right?
we really can't afford it.
We can't afford it.
Nobody can afford that.
As Elijah said, I'm a post college broke graduate kid.
Yeah. That's your new label. Put that on your LinkedIn.
I should
Be hired.
Oh no, put them on my Twitter bio.
Yeah.
There you go. Post broke college kid.
It's a new genre.
Yeah, let's see someone trademark that.
That's that could be on an NCAA football video game as a new genre.
It could. I agree with that. But anyway, so I guess now, I'm gonna be that guy. So when can we expect a new single drop? This question's bound to come, so like you can't escape it.
This is my favorite question recently because the way that we work now that we're independent is very
lenient.
I want to call it amorphous. We're constantly going from different sized cups, fitting into whatever cup is given to us, right? So to explain that mind trend that I've got going on is I have no idea.
There you go.
Whenever who we have working for us gives us what we need to release it. I mean, like I said, with our producer missing the date for the mix, I mean, we just have to kind of roll with the punches here and there. So like right now for our next single, we tend to release things in like 2-month spans. That's our ideal goal. That's the goal we like to set. We almost never live up to it.
The rock star.
I wish that was the truth, but believe me, all I do is hound people. I'm like, hey, where's my stuff? Hey, gimme. No, you're busy. Okay, well, gimme some other time, and I'll make do. Like, so right now, I mean, we're working on a brand new like a video thing that we've never done before. We're working on like a CGI music video instead of using our human bodies to do things.
All right, yeah, like a Blade Runner-esque type music video.
Like like Blade Runner, like what Code Orange did with that one song where the dude falls off the building and smashes into the ground.
Okay, Swallowing the Rabbit Hole. That's a good song.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. That was the one, but I didn't want to get it
wrong.
Yeah. You know, I know the song. I've been there. I know.
Yeah.
I listen to music. Totally. So our fate for release is kind of in his hands. But the way I see it is much more worth waiting for us to be completely sure of the release and it going as well as possible than for us to try to rush it. So I'm not in a rush to release anything though. I mean,
because you want to give something that you and the guys are proud of, not just something.
Exactly. Hey, look at you. You swore. You swear. But yeah, I've lost my train of thought with that one. But yeah, totally, 100% what I was saying.
You know what? For those because I know people are going to be asking this, the answer is whenever you guys want to. Really, that's it. Like TBA.
Oh, what I was gonna say is we've released 4 songs in the past 6 months, which is more than we've done in the past 3 years. If you plan on complaining to me, I'm not gonna read it. I'm not gonna listen. I don't care.
Yeah, that's the way it should, you know.
I am God. You people are the ones that wait for God to make decisions.
Fair enough.
My ego is nowadays.
Fair enough. I love it. I don't complain, you know. I'm just like, just let them do their thing, you know. Just let them do their thing.
That's my favorite vibe. That's my favorite vibe in the world.
Exactly. Like, I got people complaining about like, oh, but what about the new album? I'm like, dude, just shut up. All right. Just
I'm on cruise control and y'all are in the passenger seat rolling one up, you know?
So, all right. So vinyl's making a big comeback. So I guess you guys see yourselves, you know, printing vinyls of these EPs at one point?
Absolutely. I mean, we're already in talks with one really sick like collaboration for a vinyl. It's not like a collaboration with a band, so I don't want to get anyone's hopes up.
No, no.
Collaboration with a company that puts out really cool vinyl and like exclusive merch to go with it. I don't know where that conversation is at the moment, but it's definitely in the works. And we want to do it for each of them, however many volumes we have, and then hopefully put them in one large collection of like a box set or some.
I'm in favor of that. I'm in favor of that. So hey, you can drop as many volumes as you want. Like if people complain about the album, I'd be like, you just got a box set right there, my guy. Like
that's like a month and a half. It eventually, I mean, we do still have a contract that we have to fulfill with somebody that says we put out an album. So there will be at least 10 songs in the universe under the same name at
Green Day.
Yeah, what do you need to do? What is it? This is an album. Is this an album? And looking at that butterfly, and it's 18 EPs.
Yeah.
They say no.
They say no. You can pull a Green Day, just put like the worst album just to get out your contract, just to fulfill the statement of your contract.
We're not Green Day sized. We can't do that because then people think, oh, Cane Hill sucks now.
No. Well, no, we understand. We'd be like, nah, I get it. I definitely was on my. I'd be like, no, they didn't pull a Green Day. They pulled a Cane Hill, man. That man, Elijah, he don't pull
Green Day. You still have to listen to it and make our Spotify listeners high. So I want to just put it on like volume 1. Pretend that it's something better. Like have Alanis Morissette in your head while it plays. That's my solution.
Awesome, but I think that's pretty cool. I think a lot of fans would be definitely into that box set type thing with the collector edition,
Oh, yeah, people love things. People love things and stuff. From a marketing standpoint, the more things and stuff you make, the more people are satisfied.
And the more they buy, the more
the more things and stuff I can make.
Exactly. And
we're in an endless loop. That's called commerce.
Oh, look at you applying.
I went to school for a minute.
Hey, there you go. I went to school too. I studied 4 years of, law and government, and I still don't know what commerce means. But you just made it clear for me.
What are you, a poli-sci major?
Yeah, you did. Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, I know. I get that a lot too.
It's okay. I was a history major. That's why I dropped out. What am I gonna do? Work in a museum? Great.
Nate, what do you plan on doing? I don't know, man. I'm a poli-sci major, but here I am interviewing the best musicians right now. So suck it.
I feel complimented, and I respect that.
As you should. So like when people ask me like, you're a poli-sci major, I'm like, yeah, but I do interviews, bro. I do interviews for a living.
My one friend who's a poli-sci major is a dev team leader. Nothing to do with politics at all. He just tells coders what to code. So there's jobs. He was also a manager of Banana Republic. So
I mean, hey, you can hook it up with hook it up with a 20% discount.
That family discount. You think I didn't get it? I bought a belt, baby.
There you go, a belt. All right. Anyway, Elijah. So towards the end, this has been a good conversation. We've just been rambling, vibing, and I like these interviews. So from I guess this is your first interview with like someone probably 10 years younger than you.
Wow. How old are you? 17? How old do you think I am?
I want to say 27.
Yep. So not 10 years. Thank you.
Okay, 10 years. My fault.
Hurts. That hurts. It hurts so bad. Yes.
I'm 21, so.
Yeah, I get it. I'm getting old. My hairline's receding. I get it, dude.
Listen. There's no such thing as old, all right?
Tell that to my wife who's turning 30.
Yeah, I can't.
She doesn't believe that.
Yeah, I can't help you there, man.
Yeah.
I can't help you there. But, listen, but in the end of the day, we love all our queens. They're all young.
True. She still has a really pretty face.
That's nice. And the important thing is that they can support our craziness, and that's what matters.
Yeah, I don't know how she does it, but she does it.
Exactly.
Congratulations to her.
Is she into like metal and all that stuff too?
I met her at a Bullet for My Valentine concert that we were playing.
Oh.
The first time we hung out outside of that, She screamed every word to Nookie by Limp Bizkit. And that's the moment I knew I found my wife. I was like, dang, you're hot and you like know all the words to Nookie? I don't even know all the words to Nookie. Let's go.
All right. We love to see a true love story. We love to see that. Chef's kiss. Oh God, but man, yeah, this has been great. So honestly, but yeah, my question is like, since we got that sidetracked real quick, doing an interview with like just a regular kid college, how does it feel? How does it feel to do a college radio interview?
This is significantly better than half of the interviews that publications offer me. So mazel tov to you.
We did it.
You have no idea how boring it gets doing interviews with people who like have done it in the business for 10 years and they just say, where'd you get your band name? Where'd you get your start? How do you like playing these shows?
Honestly, I didn't think of those questions, but I personally, for me, it's just like I don't do outlines, man. I really don't. I just like having conversations with people.
No, this is better because anything that anyone else asks that has an outline, you can just look at Wikipedia.
Exactly. Like if I want to know how the band started, I can just shoot you a name on Twitter. I can just shoot you a DM on Twitter and be like, yo, so like, how'd you get this name?
The devil told me, dude.
There you go. I like that answer. You pull a little Maynard-esque type answer there. But, shifting back. Elijah, this has been probably awesome. Thank you so much for being on Montclair. Enjoy that. And any last words you could tell? I guess like my last words is like, what can you tell, young aspiring bands, what advice would you give them?
What advice would I give them?
It's a moment of truth.
Don't sell your soul. It takes away all of your creativity.
Contract.
Yeah, but I mean, I think to counter my own point, you have to look at your art from a business model standpoint, and you do have to find that like the fine line between like doing it because it means something to you and doing it because you want it to be your career, because it is a very hard career to make. It is a very hard way to make money. I said it before, I cannot tell you how many times like I have slept in inhospitable areas to make this dream my reality. But amidst everything that I hate about it, and I hate so much, I wouldn't trade a single thing that I've done because I'm very happy with where I've ended up. And it's taken a lot of knockdowns, a lot of kicks to the knee. But eventually, throughout all of it, you do find a way to get yourself back into a place that you can enjoy it, that you're doing it for yourself, and you reap the rewards.
That's a good thing. And the second one is, so you guys ever when touring, I guess, well, touring's coming back. You guys gonna stop by New Jersey, the New York State area? Not New York State, New York City. Sorry, because I'm not trying to go 6 hours to Worcester.
I don't like playing Rochester. I don't like playing Poughkeepsie. I see more Confederate flags in Poughkeepsie than in the South. It doesn't make any sense to me.
You gotta be in downtown Manhattan at the Hammerstein, or New Jersey.
That's all we play in the Northeast.
Like I'm not.
If we get a tour, I can guarantee you it'll come to New York. We're currently just sitting on one. It's not America. We're taking it slow.
Take it slow, Ed.
Picking and choosing. We've done enough really bad tours now where we're really picky. So it might be a minute.
Might be a minute. Well, I got patience now. Anyway, I got patience.
But good for you.
I know you don't. I gotta wait because, yeah.
What else are you gonna do?
Money's an issue.
We might play a New Orleans show. You can get a flight ticket and come watch us in the hometown.
Hey.
Hey.
Sounds like a bad idea.
We'll
anyway, Elijah Witt, everyone. If you guys want to find out more about Cane Hill, YouTube, search him on Spotify. Blood and Honey is out on all streaming services. And Elijah, any last words before we sign off?
You mentioned that you're friends with Cirky Jerky. Yeah, just a special shout out to inspirationally quoting every tweet I make You have so much time on your hands. May I please have some?
I'm pretty sure she's gonna be happy on hearing that. All right. Take care, everybody. Stay safe. Elijah, thank you.
Yeehaw.